Now we move on to our Backlash predictions, preview, and picks for Sunday night. As we record right now, there are 7 matches on tap, so more matches will likely be added to the kickoff show, to the main card. I think 7's well. I think 7's perfect. I know Money in the Bank went, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, one of the shortest pay-per-views in decades for that main roster. So if they could have something similar for this show, I'm all for it. I know they did that because the Money in the Bank ladder matches, took up so much time, and that was like the central focus of the show. But with no fans, there's no real reason for the show to be 4 hours. And with 7 matches, I don't think it will be. But we'll start with Apollo Crews versus Andrade for the United States Championship. Who wins, RJ? And is this going to be the beginning of a rift between Andrade and Angel Garza and Zelina Vega?
Yeah, I think they've been teasing that lately. Since Andrade lost the title, I would keep Cruz with the belt here. I think that kind of makes sense. Why would you put it back on Andrade again? I think another loss could kind of sever ties between Garza and Zelina. The only issue is that without Zelina, I just don't see Andrade going too far. We touched upon this earlier. His English is really bad, and I don't know. I don't think they're going to push him by himself. Since he just can't talk. I mean, I saw reports a month or two ago that Vince literally told him, you need to get better English if you want to get pushed. So, I mean, I would keep him with Zelina. I think they're a great pairing, but hopefully they're teasing tension between them and they just turn on Garza and he just goes babyface. But we'll see what happens. But I would keep Zelina and Andrade together.
Yeah, I think Cruz retains the title here. I totally agree. Of the two, I like the idea of an Andrade face turn would be interesting, just because we haven't seen him as a face since his NXT days when he was wearing the whole Chippendale outfit, which was fucking dumb. But I think at this point it would be well done. That was terrible. Actually, almost exactly 4 years since he debuted at that show. Actually, as what was he, Manny when we saw him at NXT? LOL, RJ.
Manny Andrade. I think.
Yeah, Manny Andrade. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but Angel Garza proved in NXT on his time in 205 Live that he could work as a babyface. People like Angel. He's a lot like Eddie Guerrero in that respect. Not to, say he's the next Eddie. We've said this before, but I think in that respect, he could work as a face. So, he could talk too. So I think as a babyface, he'd be perfectly fine. Much better than Humberto, who is good, but he has not been booked well. Angel Garza feels much more like a star than Humberto ever has. His cousin, actually. For the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, Bayley and Sasha defending against not one but 2 teams in a triple threat tag team match, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and the Iconics. Your thoughts on this matchup, RJ? Who walks out as the tag team champions?
It's nice to see these belts actually be defended on a show that matters, so that's a plus, I would say. Bayley and Banks winning the championships. I mean, they just won it last Saturday, so it'd be kind of silly to take them, or last Friday, take them off them already. It's kind of funny how Bayley and Sasha win the belts for the first time since Sasha quit fucking a year ago. So I think that's just funny. And they're all happy now they're the champions, even though when they got them taken off them, they were crying and Sasha stayed at home for 6 months. But I'm still not over that, clearly. But I would keep Bayley and Sasha. It seems like they're dragging on this feud between them. I think they're just going to keep. It seemingly seems like they're going to keep this going until there's fans back. So I think they might just stay together until that happens and they'll eventually break off. But I'd keep the belts on them. The Iconics are terrible, and Bliss and Cross just lost them. So I would put Bliss in the singles competition. The Iconics go back down to NXT again, and so can Nikki Cross.
I would say the unemployment line for the Iconics. I don't even think NXT needs them at this point.
That's just messed up.
I'm sorry. I like them, but they just do nothing for me, which is why I'm picking them here. I think they're going to win the tag team titles. I do. They don't give a shit about these titles. They just flip-flop them back and forth. Bliss and Cross won them 2 months ago, and Bayley and Banks already ended their reign. So what's stopping them from already taking the titles off of Bayley and Banks? That's why I'm saying the Iconics. I want Bayley and Sasha to win. I just don't think they will. Especially since the Iconics beat them for the belts the first time. They might want to tell the story they'll do it again. I hope not, but that's my prediction. Do you think we get Bayley and Banks at SummerSlam, or do they drag it out per the reports that we've been reading recently?
I think they're going to keep dragging it on. It seems like that's kind of the direction they're going in. They haven't really teased tension lately. Maybe if they lose on Sunday, imagine getting tension over fucking belts that mean nothing. But, I mean, yeah. Possible. So, I think they're going to push along further, but maybe losing belts as worthy as the one around my waist right now will get them up in arms on Sunday.
Yeah, the division's trash. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. Who is your pick, RG? And what have your thoughts been? I know you don't really closely watch SmackDown, but any thoughts on the Jeff Hardy storyline with the whole drinking thing recently on Friday nights?
I mean, it is what it is. I think it's somewhat compelling. I mean, I wouldn't capitalize on this guy's problem. Like, this is an actual real-life problem that he has. I think he's still pending, like, an actual,
a court date, yeah.
Like, kind of weird, but, I mean, it is compelling. I mean, it's definitely different. I think if he's fine with it, it's whatever. I could give two shits less. I mean, if I was next scenario, I don't think I'd want them capitalizing on my DUI, so I've had so many of them. But, it is what it is. I think it's definitely different and compelling to me, at least. I think Sheamus wins here to further it on, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this one could go either way. They could have Jeff Hardy win, end the feud, go on to face the winner of Friday's Intercontinental Championship match, which, by the way, who you got, Bryan or AJ?
Brian,
I got AJ winning. So I think Hardy could win, go on to face AJ. I would drag this out. I think Extreme Rules might be the next pay-per-view in July, so why end this now? Why not, actually do a feud that matters at Extreme Rules? So I would have Sheamus win here. He's due a big win since returning, and beating Apollo Crews and fucking Shorty G don't count for shit, so I would have him win here. The Asuka Nia Jax match for the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka's got to win, right, RJ? She has to.
Asuka's got to win here. I mean, come on. If she loses the fucking Nia Jax, the division is fucking dead.
It's dead. Call it a day.
But no, Asuka wins here. The story clearly is her versus Charlotte now. I mean, the story was going about her and Nia, and then they still had her face a fucking triple threat match, even though we know Nia was going to be the next contender. But Asuka wins here. I'm assuming she faces Charlotte next and loses the belt to Charlotte. Unfortunately, I'm a realist. I think that's what's going to happen. Don't want it to happen, but I say Asuka wins here, faces Charlotte at probably SummerSlam and lose the belt there.
Yeah, I still want to see Asuka and Shayna Baszler, but I think hopefully they do Charlotte at the July pay-per-view, get it over with, and I would do Shayna and Asuka at SummerSlam, but again, that's just me. Maybe Shayna wins it then, that's what I would do, but again, it doesn't really seem like they give too many shits about Shayna at this point, so I wouldn't be,
her because she hasn't been on TV in like
weeks. While. Yeah, in quite a while. For the Universal Championship 2-on-1 handicap match with the Universal Championship, Braun Strowman defending against The Miz and John Morrison. Come on, dude. What the fuck is this? I love Morrison and Miz, but like this is a joke. They're not going to win. They can't, correct?
This is just a like prototypical filler feud. Like no one cares. It is what it is. Like silly comedy they're trying to go for and just not funny. And Braun has to win here. It's funny though because before Braun won the title, he lost in a handicap match to fucking Sami Zayn, Shinsuke, and Cesaro. Probably bigger losers than The Miz and Morrison. So if they don't win here, just make them look even worse. So Braun wins here, eventually feuding with Bray when he comes back or when he returns. I mean, I think that's obviously what's going to happen. But The Miz and Morrison couldn't be. No one could give two less of a shits about them than they can right now.
Yeah, exactly. Just who could possibly give a shit? So I like them, but they're not winning here. We then get to our top two main events, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. For anyone thinking a lot like with Asuka and Braun that, Drew is a surefire pick to win here, he's really not. I think Drew will win, but I think there's a good chance Bobby wins too, and not just because of everything going on in the world right now, and I mean, that would be a good tie-in, but first of all, they shouldn't force it. They shouldn't force a Bobby win. I think he should win anyway at some point. Maybe not right now. I just don't think he's quite ready yet. I would hold off until either the next pay-per-view or SummerSlam or whatever. But anyway, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. Is there a chance here, RJ, that Lashley walks out as the new WWE Champion?
There's always a chance, but I say Drew wins here. I mean, Drew's been great. Obviously, you can't tell by crowd reaction, but since he's been champion, I've enjoyed his run a lot. I think he's been great on Raw and stuff like that. It hasn't been over the top. Like, they haven't been showing him like every fucking segment like they do with Roman Reigns. I think Roman's the guy. It's going to be the one that takes off Drew. I think this is just a good filler feud. I think they're building Bobby up well, but I would say probably Roman's going to be the guy that takes off Drew.
Wait. You're saying Roman Reigns will be the one to beat Drew?
Yeah.
Where is that coming from? Roman's on SmackDown, or do you think he comes back on Raw?
They traded AJ Styles. What do you think Raw's going to get back from him?
Oh, no. I really hope not. Oh, that's terrible. That's fucking terrible. Thanks for ruining my day.
SummerSlam Roman wins, LOL.
That's fucking terrible. I would much rather have him stick on SmackDown and beat Braun. Honestly, that's just bad. That's awful. Anyway, Edge Orton, the greatest wrestling match of all time. Will it be the greatest match of all time, RJ? What is the greatest match of all time, in your opinion, and who wins?
I mean, this match is definitely not going to be the greatest match of all time. The worst part is they're going to tape it, and it's still not going to be that. They've already taped it, I heard, and it's still not going to be that good. And I don't understand why they wanted that billing. It just kind of seems like you're basically setting it up to fail because it's not going to be that good, and then people are just going to shit all over it. But best match of all time? I mean, I would say it's either Shawn and Taker from 25 or 26. I like the 26 match a lot. Mm-hmm. I know everyone really likes 25, but I really like 26 as well. I would go with 26. I really enjoy that match. But I think either or, you can't go wrong with either or.
I say 25, but I think 26 in my opinion, because 25 didn't main event. I've always said that WrestleMania 26 is the greatest WrestleMania main event of all time. Would you say the same?
25, you mean?
No, 26, because 26, the greatest, like, the match that went on last at a WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, easily. That match was amazing. Like I said, I like the Undertaker Shawn Michaels match from 26 better than 25, and people think 25 is the best match of all time. So I really enjoy that match. I think the story for 26 was even bigger, obviously with Michaels retiring and everything. But it's easily the greatest WrestleMania main event. I don't think it's really even close. And
one of the greatest video packages of all time, too.
Yes, that I know by heart.
The kid texts me that every few weeks.
I love that match.